what's funny, man. I mean, you gotta love the feeling of the daydream. You know, the daydream, man.
Yeah, that sounds like some Guantanamo Bay shit on ecstasy or something. Man.
Oh, in a porn house. That shit's stupid.
So, hello. We're back again.
Yes.
On, I don't know. I guess it could be considered one of our favorite topics. We've touched on it several times, but listen, it's true, and it's not just us. You know, yeah, he might have a little bit of an issue. You know,
And I do. I admit it. I pray that I can get off of my firm stance, but I do have an issue.
with you know, the health and the what you call. But again, we're not making this stuff up out of thin air. I mean,
No.
this is all real shit we're talking about here. We recently found a few statistics for you. According to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, 34% of adults aged 20 or older are obese. 34% are overweight. Among children, and it really just, and I'm not, you know, as obsessed, but when I see a super fat kid, I'm horrified.
Especially when the parent is giving them all sorts of like high fructose juicy juice in a box and snackables. Remember that nasty snackables where they give you this
the
nasty
Lunchables, yeah.
Lunchables. Come on, man. Why are you feeding this stuff to your children and they're growing?
Among children, 18% of teens aged 12 to 19 are obese. 20% of children aged 6 to 11 are obese. And even though this is not a super high number, it's horrifying because of the age group. 10% of kids aged 2 to 5 are obese. And
Fat turkey babies, man.
yeah, and I see these kids. You know, I mean, because as you said before, type of genetic or glandular issue. But it's like, how could you tell? Because if you're a pig man, as he
or
said
an
in the
amorphous
past,
globule,
or a globule,
or a walrus, gravy gargling walrus,
gravy gargling
walrus,
globule walrus pig man, and you know, this is how you eat. Of course, your children are going to follow. If not, just have to eat what you shove them, because you apparently have no consideration for your own health. You don't either care or know how to eat properly, so you're just going to pass this on to your children, and now you have a family of pachyderms.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
shuffling around like Mr. Snuffleupagus
and breathing heavily. You know,
just standing still, breathing heavily, bumping into all the furniture. Just ridiculous.
Just look at her butt.
Yeah, if it was just her
So
butt,
big.
but it's her butt, her knees, her stomach, her fucking neck.
Ankles.
So I mean, this is real. This, like you said, this is real, man. We're not just talking out of the side of it.
No.
And again, you know, this is the smallest I've been in years. You know,
and Ken, okay, you know that you can be bigger, right?
I've been bigger, absolutely.
And you know, genetically, you know the shape that you took is the shape of your mom, right? So you are predisposed. Like if he were my size, he'd be literally last rites. He'd be dead. He can't. His frame will do that. But you knew how you felt before and how you feel now, right?
Sure.
How do you feel now, Ken?
I feel better. I mean, like I said, you can literally feel the difference. Like I literally topped out. My highest weight was 270. Okay, and I didn't get like, you know, circular, but you know, it was out the hair, ass was out the hair. That, you know, it was just unattractive. It was. I literally like would see myself in the mirror and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this has got to stop.
And the way, and that's the aesthetics, but how do you feel? I mean, sleeping, anything
Oh yeah,
else?
yeah. Well, when I actually got down smaller than this, and when I did, I stopped snoring. I thought I was having some prostate issues because I was getting to go to the bathroom like 4 times a night. That stopped. I had high blood pressure about 7 years ago. That's I mean, now I'm like normal, but I'm way down from where I used to be. So, you know, all of these things, you know, make a difference. You know, I was actually talking about my brother. My brother is he's gone back to the gym.
Okay.
He hasn't eaten meat in about a week now.
Okay.
And he said, first of all, his bowel movements aren't as painful and strenuous.
Yeah, because he was probably trying to pass steel, shit-covered steel. I mean, think of it. hard impacted fucking shit in your gut. It was probably hard like deal.
You know, and I told him, he's like, I'm not, and he's like, and he's doing it the smart way this time, as am I. You know, I'm not putting any limits, any hard goals, you know, just trying the best you can. And I told him, I was like, yo, if you do this for 2 months and you happen to go back and backslide for like 2 weeks or whatever, those 2 months probably put 5 or 7 days back on the end of your life. And that's real. That's not bullshit. That's not for effect. That's probably true. At least that's the way I feel about it. So, I mean, this stuff, you know, it's I mean, you know, you could take it or leave it, you know, it's your choice, because, you know, it's your kids that's going to be looking at you, you know, while you're face down in the fucking toilet.
Like I keep saying, health is wealth. Health is wealth. No matter what you have, if you're not feeling well, if you're sick or anything like that, you will know that what is important to you. And you can't be there for others if you can't be there for yourself.
And unfortunately, yeah, the hard way is pretty much the only way. These fad diets and these diet pills and all of that shit, that's all bullshit. That's just making money for the pharmaceutical companies.
And it's predicated around laziness. I mean, you know, we had discussed this on the phone. I said, you know, other nations that have an infrastructure set in place for biking and cycling, or they have architecture that's so old that they don't have elevators, you have to walk upstairs and stuff like that all the time, they're still conditioned in their mind to understanding, oh wow, there's a bit of burn in my thighs, there's a little bit of burn, you know, so they understand that, you know, what it feels to exert yourself. Here we have escalators, elevators, we drive everywhere, we, you know, take public transportation. People, you know, walking, people look at you like you're crazy if you say, I'm going to go walk for a half an hour. I'm going to go walk for a half an hour. Exactly, a bunch of shuffling bovines. They don't understand, and to me, we're totally being fattened up, and this is my opinion, by design. I believe that it's by design. Our food, everything is being placed in it. That what we see as entertainment is dumbing us down. Everything is by design, in my opinion, to make us completely just zombified sludge on a couch, unaware of what's really going on.
And not just that, but of course, when you're in such poor health, what do you have to do? You have to go to the doctor. And what's the doctor going to do? He's going to give you pills.
Oh, yeah.
And pills and pills and pills and pills. We're worried about the illegal drugs that's in the country.
Do you know those numbers for the drugs?
Yeah, pulling that up.
Yeah, pull this up.
We're worried about, you know, the crack and all of that stuff. But
yeah, this I definitely want to hear about these damn drugs, boy, because this is these statistics are pretty much ridiculous.
Where the hell are they?
So do you have them?
Shit.
Some pretty decent statistics if we can get them up.
Well, I don't have. Well, one thing I do know, as far as illegal drugs go, we consume more illegal drugs than anybody in this in the planet. The planet. Not the country, not the continent, not the hemisphere. The planet.
Yeah. Do we have the video for that?
Well, we have the one for the prescription drugs, which we'll show you in a second, because we're just a dope fiend country.
Oh yeah.
But as far as the illegal drug, I think it was like 40% of Americans are on cocaine and
something insane.
Marijuana. I think it's like 60% of the country is smoke marijuana like 4 times a week.
Is that still in your email, man? Because I mean, and maybe after the next break, because I mean, these numbers are, you know, it's extremely telling when you actually hear hard numbers, because it's one thing to hear the opinion of two dudes on the show, and you know, you can go, well, hey, I don't believe that, or you know, I don't agree with you, but you know, I've always said if someone says 2 + 2 be 4. It's still a sound equation. It's still 4, because that's a hard fact. 2 + 2 happens to be 4. And these particular numbers are just mind-boggling when you think of exactly how drug-riddled America happens to be. And we're talking about from the illegal to the prescription. It's just completely outrageous. So I'm hoping that we can pull those numbers up. If not, we have a bunch of other numbers. But this was something that I would use the term interesting, but it's frightening. It truly is frightening for a place like America. And to me, I'm drawing serious parallels to Rome, to all of those other places that went down due to gluttony, narcissism, vanity, and everything else. Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go. Americans consume 60% of the world's production of illegal drugs. 60%. Just America. 23 million use marijuana at least 4 times a week. Okay. 18 million abuse alcohol. 6 million regularly use cocaine. And 2 million use heroin.
Okay. Oh, the old-fashioned junkies.
Yeah, the good
with
stuff.
With the tap in your vein and the shakes.
The black mule heroin.
Yeah.
So there you go. So again, and this is, mind you, there's no word of crack on here. There's no. But and this is not even the worst of it, because it's this is for the police. No. All you people who think you're doing the legal thing, you're completely fucked up. We have a video here about the prescription drug epidemic in this country, and the numbers you're about to hear are worse than the illegal drug numbers. Yeah. So we're going to throw that to you right now, and you tell us.
America's drug czar asked the United States to face a fact. Put simply, with the help of our doctors, we've become a country hooked on prescription pills. 80% of all the prescription painkillers taken in the world are taken by Americans, and that's in the world. The toll in 17 states and Washington, D.C., more people now die of prescription drug overdose than car accidents. ABC's Jim Avila has spent the day asking when this happened to America and why, and what about the role of the doctors, and he's here now. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, Diane. Over the last decade, the way doctors treat pain in America has changed dramatically, prescribing 50% more narcotic painkillers. And now many are saying this country needs to go cold turkey. A house of pain.
I have severe lower back pain.
Patients at a pain clinic on Chicago's North Side.
It's muscle pain throughout my entire body. But
America is apparently in more pain than ever. In fact, we take 80% of all the prescription pain relievers in the world. The most popular drug in the country, a painkiller, Vicodin.
It is being overprescribed, and it's prescribed for people who don't need it.
Who is prescribing all those painkillers? More than 600,000 doctors, from surgeons to podiatrists, are licensed by the DEA. But at the top of the list are primary care doctors, followed by internists and dentists. And critics say many often prescribe drugs like Vicodin because they're not as tightly regulated as other narcotic pain relievers, so they're easier to give out.
It's one of the most addictive drugs we know.
In fact, accidental overdoses from prescription painkillers not only kill more people than car accidents in 17 states now, they are responsible for more deaths than crack in the 1980s and black tar heroin in the 70s. Carolyn Alfieri suffered chronic shoulder pain from playing violin. She was prescribed Vicodin and later a host of other pain relievers, eventually addicted to 75 pills a day. Lost her teeth, sold her violin, and forged prescriptions.
My life had turned to hell.
The National Drug Czar says the current culture of writing narcotic prescriptions for moderate pain, which began about a decade ago, needs to be changed and doctors retrained.
There was very little time, if any, in medical schools and other places to be devoted to understanding this.
In fact, many pain specialists now believe that narcotic pain relievers should only be used by patients with imminently fatal diseases like cancer, not for arm pain, back pain, or dental problems, where addiction isn't a concern. Clearly, not the practice today in the United States, where we now use 99% of all the Vicodin and its generics in the world.
And that's a huge change in the last 10 years in this country, Jim. So what are you supposed to do then if you're in pain and you want to be one of those who says, no, I'm not going that route?
Well, the doctors say if it's for one of those things like dental pain or broken arm, something like that, they say suck it up and use the over-the-counter relief like aspirin or something like that.
Because these do have consequences, and again, you have to ask what's happened to the country that this change has taken place so dramatically.